Heritage, a history of Afro-Americans. Our current topic, Harlem Renaissance. Today's program, Harlem Shadows, written for Black Heritage by George Houston Bass and directed for the Voices Incorporated by Joe Jackson. And now, the Voices Incorporated in Harlem Shadows.
I bathed in the Euphrates when dawns were young. I built my hut by the Congo, and it lulled me to sleep. I looked upon the Nile and raised the pyramids above it. In the summer of 1920, 18-year-old Langston Hughes gazed out a train window at the Mississippi River. The beauty of that great river fused with the history of other great rivers and gave birth to a poem. With that poem, Langston Hughes enunciated the beauty, strength, and dignity of a people whose heritage is tangled in the flow of many great rivers. In 1903, W.E.B. Du Bois published his now famous book, The Souls of Black Folk, in which he unfolded the tragedy of the black man's oppression and presented a way toward freedom. The voice of Dr. Du Bois, clear and powerful, hammered incessantly on the opaque walls of discrimination. The echo of his voice resounded into many black hamlets, stirring the hearts and minds of black folk. The echo was repeated by James Weldon Johnson, whose poem was set to music by his brother, J. Rosamond. It became the national Negro anthem. During the first years of the 20th century, were born the men and women destined to become a part of a major literary movement in America, the Harlem Renaissance, commonly dated 1922 to 1931.
I'm leaving Georgia. I'm leaving Florida. I'm Mississippi. Oh, Lord, Louisiana, well, I'm leaving.
Of the many writers who became leading figures of the Harlem Renaissance, not a single one was born in Harlem. Langston Hughes, Missouri. Claude McKay, Jamaica. Gene Toomer, Washington, D.C. Zora Neale Hurston, Florida. Contine Cullen, St. Louis. Arna Bonta, Louisiana. Frank Horn, Brooklyn. Warren Cunney and Sterling Brown, Washington, D.C. But in the 1920s, they all found their way to Harlem, to a viable community, where they could weave poetry and prose to the background music of black artists like Fats Waller, Jimmy Johnson, and Gus Cannon.
Walk right in, stand right down, daddy, let your mind go. Walk right in, stand right down, daddy, let your mind go. Everybody's talking about a new way of walking. Do you want to lose your mind? Walk right in, stand right down, daddy, let your mind go. Yeah, daddy, let your mind go. Yeah, daddy, let your mind go.
Between 1915 and 1920, over 1 million black Americans moved north in search of a better life. Thousands settled in Harlem.
African, the West Indian, the Afro-American,
peasant, student, businessman,
artist, poet, musician, adventurer,
and worker,
preacher, criminal, exploiter, and social outcast. I got nothing to offer. I got nothing to offer. I got nothing to offer.
In 1920, 80,000 people were crowded into the 40-block area called Harlem, USA. And with them were crowded all the folk customs and cuisines of their varied backgrounds. From this rich montage of cultures, The young writers of the Harlem Renaissance found the social currents to feed their own desires to return to their roots. They knew their Africa was not just the dark continent of savages. They knew that the great art treasures of Benin and Ife reflected a noble people, that the folk stories and legends of Africa reflected a majestic history. But the poets were also American. Theirs was a problem of ambivalence, of which DeVore spoke.
One ever feels his two-ness, an American, a Negro, two souls, two thoughts, two warring ideals in one dark body. The history of the American Negro is the history of this strife, this longing to attain self-conscious manhood, to merge his double self into a better and truer self. In merging, he wishes neither of the older selves to be lost. He would not Africanize America, for America has much to teach the world and Africa. He would not bleach his Negro soul in a flood of white Americanism, for he knows that Negro blood has a message for the world.
Wonder where
I'm gonna die, being neither white nor black.
For weary centuries, despised, oppressed, enslaved, and lynched, denied a human place in the great lifeline of the Christian West. And in the black land disinherited, robbed in the ancient country of its birth, my heart grows sick with hate, becomes as lead for this, my race, that has no home on earth. Then from the depths of my soul I cry to the avenging angel to consume the white man's world of wonders utterly. Let it be swallowed up in earth's vast womb, or upward roll as sacrificial smoke, to liberate my people from its yoke. My soul has grown deep, like
protests of the social injustices meted out to the black man were penned by all the young writers of the Harlem Renaissance. But not all of their protest poems were of a serious tone. Laughter was often used in expressing contempt for white racism.
She's fixing up in heaven her class life late and snoring while four black girls ride the steps to do the celestial show.
This literary tradition had demanded that black artists feature black music. But the Renaissance writers truly expressed what the black man felt and thought. Haven Locke, the distinguished scholar and critic, called him the new Negro. Dr. DeVore was among the first to publish their works in his Crisis magazine. The Crisis and Opportunity magazines aroused the interest of the publishing world to the movement in Harlem. In 1922, the book of American Negro poetry, edited by James Weldon Johnson, and Harlem Shadows, a collection of poems by Claude McKay, marked the formal beginning of the Harlem Renaissance.
The next night shall so the Bible says, and it's still
bittersweet laughter of the blues was all over Harlem during the Renaissance. It released the pain of being black in a white world, and at the same time it charmed the oppressor and sent him running to Harlem. He visited speakeasies like the Glory Room, the Blue Room, basement brownies, hope shelters, as well as legitimate night spots like the Roy's, Connie's Inn, Happy Rooms. All provided excellent entertainment and plenty of
saving my love for you.
More important, many black artists made essential contacts with the white world.
And it's saving my love for you. Like that corner in the corner, don't go nowhere. What do I care? Your kisses are worth waiting for.
Cordial and polite in their relations with the Harlem visitors, the young writers were well aware of their white friends' inclination to return to their lily-white worlds and forget they ever even knew or cared about the black man and his problems. The writings and activities of the young poets of the Harlem Renaissance didn't always meet with public favor. Langston Hughes was often attacked by the black press and called a sewer dweller because many of his poems celebrated the not-so-polite aspects of black life. But Hughes responded,
We younger Negro artists who create now intend to express our individual dark-skinned selves without fear or shame. If white people are pleased, we are glad. If they are not, it doesn't matter. We know we are beautiful, and ugly too. If colored people are pleased, we are glad. If they are not, their displeasure doesn't matter either. We build our temples for tomorrow, strong as we know how, and we stand on the top of the mountain, free within ourselves.
What were the temples the young writers of the Harlem Renaissance built? Alain Locke suggested 5 important themes in their writings.
Discovery of Africa as a source of race crime.
Folk portraits of the black experience.
Black heroes and heroic episodes from American history.
A reassessment of self.
Protest and propaganda.
Their temples were strong and positive images, which were to help chart a new and better life for future generations of black people. Their temples have indeed borne fruit. The young writers of the Harlem Renaissance, a new breed of black man, a new Negro. The new Negro strides upon the continent in 7-league boots. The new Negro breaks the icons of his detractors wipes out the conspiracy of silence and speaks to his America. The new Negro, his giant hands fling murals upon the high chambers. His drama teaches the world to laugh and weep. His voice thunders the echo of brotherhood. His science creates 7 wonders. His Republic of Letters challenges the Negro baiters. The new Negro strides in 7-league boots along the highway of today toward the promised land of tomorrow.
Facing the rising sun of a new day begun, let us
Black Heritage, a history of Afro-Americans, presented in association with Columbia University. Our current topic, Harlem Renaissance. Our subject today was Harlem Shadows, written by George Houston Bass and directed by the Voices Incorporated by Joe Jackson.